What's up, everybody? Jensen Cummings here. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. Today's Best Served Podcast 345. We're talking why heritage matters to chefs, to culinary professionals, to restaurant pros, to bartenders. Heritage is something that we often are trying to get into the glass, onto the plate. And so we're going to talk about that today with Nick and Chai of Fried Chicken and Caviar in Detroit, Michigan. This is a part of In the Weeds Menu Meeting Fall 2021. If you've been following along, we're in week 2. Omnipresence, as always. You're going to find video casts, audio podcasts on Anchor, Apple, Google, anywhere you find those, Clubhouse conversations, articles, TikTok videos, Instagram takeovers, memes, anywhere and everywhere in any way that you in the hospitality industry are communicating. You who are lovers of food and heritage are looking to be a part of this amazing conversations with amazing thought leaders in the industry at large. So I am very excited. I'm going to bring Nick and Chai in now to talk to us Fried Chicken and Caviar in Detroit, Michigan. Good to see both of you.
Good morning or good afternoon or good
Yes.
morning.
Good day. Good day. It's a good day.
Good day.
Any day with fried chicken and caviar is a good day. So
You got it.
I can appreciate that. Let's start off. Tell everybody fried chicken and caviar. What's it all about? And how did it come about? Give us a little bit of the backstory.
Well, Shy and I, we went to high school together, but we weren't. She's a little bit younger than I am, and we weren't, in the same circle. And then I moved to Vegas, and I think we connected on social media. And I DM'd her, and I said, "Hey, do you want to go on a chick date?" And she said, "Yeah." And so we went ate food, and then I don't know, we just start cooking together, and then we did some underground dinner parties to test out like foods that we really wanted to cook that we probably couldn't like test out on our parents or people like that.
Sure.
But yeah, we just invited people over who could come like in the middle of a Tuesday, and we tested out um, recipes on our friends, and then that's really how fried chicken and caviar came about, because we weren't cooking like baked chicken and fingerling potatoes. We were making
Sure.
like you know
You're going for
ramen,
it.
yeah, African foods, curries, like whatever we wanted to cook, whatever we wanted to try, like no matter how hard the recipe was or how authentic it was, like we made it on Test Kitchen Tuesdays for our friends. And that's really where this whole thing came about, like just making food that is delicious and comforting, but at the same time, things that people don't always, especially people of color, always get to have on their dinner table. You know what I mean?
Two things that I really like. I like everything you said. But two things. One, Nick, for you, this is a little bit of a coming home story, right? You were in Vegas, and you're like,
Hmm.
I got to get back to Detroit. What does that look like from a culinary standpoint? Obviously, Vegas is internationally known as a culinary destination, and Detroit is emerging every day. I see interesting things coming from
Yeah.
Detroit. So I like the coming home story. Also, the two of you already have been going through this journey of finding heritage and experimenting and innovating around that and finding truth and challenging preconceived notions. That's really
Hmm.
something that is like a mainstay of what we're trying to acknowledge and unearth in this process. So you all have been going through that, which I really like. Also, fried chicken caviar. I want to give people an understanding of the experience now that they're going to have. I love just the name right out of the bat, just tells you what to expect. There's this, here, highbrow, lowbrow. It's like
Yeah.
trashy, classy. It's like it's
Trashy,
got
classy,
right.
ghetto,
It's
bougie.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's got the street chic. Like it's all of those
There
things
you
because you're
go.
pulling in both directions. I see you. I feel you. I
Yep.
understand completely because sometimes we get caught up in one or the other and you're
Hmm.
trying to find the intersection of those. So respect to that because I think it's important and I think it's a challenge. I know it's a challenge. So a lot of respect for the fact that you're going through that journey and taking other people on it. So I'm in. I need fried and chicken caviar in my life. Where do I find you? How do I get in on this? Give me an idea if I'm looking to be able to have that experience.
Well, you can always find us on social media. Our Instagram handle is at fried chicken and caviar underscore. We're on Facebook. You can always also go to our website. Those things have the most up to date uh,
A
dates, a
calendar. Yeah.
calendar of everything that we're doing. Yeah, that's we're not hard to find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
We're
here.
all over Detroit.
all over Detroit. And the pop-ups, like, give me an idea of kind of how it emerged, right? You had Test Kitchen Tuesdays, you got the friends, you hope it's friends that both won, give you pats on the back and say good job, keep going, and they give you some critical feedback so that you can continue to improve. Then how did it become a part of the fabric of Detroit? How did you start getting fried chicken and caviar into people's faces in Detroit? What was that process like?
The branding. So at the beginning of the pandemic, because Shy, she couldn't come outside. Yeah, so she was stuck in the house. And yeah, so we came back together when she could finally come out the house, and we started cooking. But we had taken some photos, and I was like, so I do events outside of like fried chicken and caviar, and I was like, hey, remember that event that I did before? Why don't we do it for fried chicken and caviar? It's called Single in the City. So for not Thanksgiving, Valentine's Day, and Galentine's Day, we were like,
Nice.
let's just put out crazy content, like these beautiful photos that we had already taken of like food that we made. And so it was kind of crazy how it happened. We put the photos out and started like really branding fried chicken and caviar, and then we just got attention from like the media, the food critics, literally within probably like 1 month. And so that event sold out, and so of course we had to do it again, and then again and again, and now we're pretty much booked till 2023.
Almost, 2023.
What? Yeah. Come on, those are great problems to have. I love that. And so, have you solidified a location? Are you bopping around town? Like, where can we find you physically?
We do not.
Yeah, we don't.
Brick and mortar.
That's not the goal.
We like to be free to kind of like explore different places and meet different people and get a different audience. You know what I'm saying? Like every venue, every space that we go to is like a completely different crowd.
Yeah,
and we like that.
And like next year we're in what, like 6 cities?
Yeah, we're
7
gonna go.
cities?
Yeah, we're taking this thing on the road. So it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Let's go. All right, we're gonna make sure we meet up on the road somewhere, because I need everything that you're talking about. That's great. So you're going to the people, you're bringing this experience across Detroit, and now it's become a Detroit experience that then you're going to bring to other cities. So I really love that. Let's talk about the heritage aspect, and I'm very interested in how that intersects with Detroit and Detroit culture and your culture within the city. So, you know, what are you representing? You mentioned the curries. You mentioned that you were doing African food. You mentioned, right, that you have this ghetto bougie thing going on. How are you now saying this is who we are on a plate? Give me an idea of how you're communicating that to each other through your food to the guest.
So I always say that Shy and I are like a rap song. You know, there's the melody, the beat, and then there's the words, the perfect words over the perfect, well, they say melody. So when we're making a menu, normally we're super in sync in that way. Like last night, I'm obsessed with bologna, and we wanted to put bologna on a plate. I wanted to literally make the bologna, and so she doesn't really like bologna that much, but we want to make a bologna charcuterie plate. So it was literally like, like that's how we communicate. And I think that when you get the plate, like you kind of understand, like, oh, this is what these girls are doing. But also, we do infuse, like we said before, the super comforting food. We're not shy about, you know, the Black girl magic and making sure that people understand that Black food is American food. And so you'll always see a little bit of like who we are as Black women of color on the plate. I mean, because I don't know how to be nothing else. So if I'm gonna give you fried chicken caviar, it's gonna be, you know, something that my grandma helped me, you know, learn how to make, or something that reminds me of like my mom or Shy's mom, or, you know, something like that. We made peach cobbler. So we made bourbon peach cobbler the other week, and super comforting. Bourbon, we like bourbon a lot, but also cobbler, you know what I mean? Like all the things on your plate, there's something very reminiscent of like where we've come from as a people. We're not shying away from that at all. We're just making sure that we understand, or that you understand, that we can have it all. Like we like fried chicken and caviar. Yeah.
Anytime that food reminds you of mom, grandma, like being around that table.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's what we're always trying to recreate. There's also you want to make it your own. So I'm very interested in
Yeah.
that. Some of the recipes that you're potentially playing with are timeless. Like
Oh,
you're not allowed to mess with them. That, you know what I mean? And that happens sometimes in food where we get so stuck. How do you pay homage to that heritage, that tradition, and also make it your own? How do the two of you? What's the collaborative vibe in that? How are you making sure that you stay grounded and continue to innovate and make things your own? What's that part of the process like?
I mean, who said you can't mess with it? You know what I mean? Like that's
Right? They. It's
who
always
who's the
they. Them over
yeah,
there
whose
say you're
rule
not
is
allowed to mess
that?
with it.
Yeah. But I think for us, like making a good dish, we're true to flavors and all that kind of stuff. If it's gonna be a risotto, of course, we're gonna like have a good technique down. But we're
Right.
allowed to play with flavors. We're allowed to play with seasonal things. We're allowed to play with things that we can get our hands on. Yeah, we're playing with everything. Nobody,
nothing
it's
is
fried
off
chicken and
limits.
caviar. Like we don't gotta play by a certain rule. Like we're not doing
There
that.
are no rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're taking the technique, the craft, the heritage seriously, but not taking yourself seriously. Sometimes we get
No.
try too hard. I feel that completely,
But we
and
like
so
to have fun and we want
Yeah.
to
that's what
enjoy it, right? And we want
clearly,
you to enjoy it. We want you to feel that.
yeah. Food is joy and it's pain. So much of the way that ingredients migrate, that dishes are created, and you mentioned not shying away from your black girl magic and the history of some of those things. How are you navigating that? Because that can be heavy sometimes, and clearly you're making it playful as well. What do you feel your responsibility is, or what is your position on kind of communicating the history of the food that you're putting on a plate?
Um, I think that as black women, we always keep who we are. We are two black girls from Detroit, always. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? At all times, there's nothing we can do. There's nothing we want to do about that. We always, I think it's always a conversation when Nick and I are in the kitchen. Like we talk about these old recipes and stuff like that, and then just kind of like, okay, so what's the fried chicken and caviar version of that? You know what I'm saying? Um,
Yes, you have a lens that you look through very specifically.
yeah, for sure, for
I
sure.
love that.
But also, for Shy and I, we try to use things like I live right by a farm. We try to. It's important to know she comes from a background of what do you call it? Your
Community
community.
development.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I
And
lived in
then
DC for 10 years, and I did
yeah, and
community
then I
development.
work.
Gotcha.
I'm strictly a food person, but I've worked in social justice, food justice for a long time. So outside of like just cooking the food, we are very aware that food brings people together and it separates them also. So again, the
Yes.
whole fried chicken and caviar thing, just making sure that people know that they have access to or should have access to any kind of food that they want to eat, and not eliminating one food, not one group of people from a food group. I think fried chicken and caviar, we really try to push that narrative also.
That's what I was getting to right there. It Chai, it totally makes sense your background and then the social justice because it
Hmm.
felt like it's just fun. There's like such a vibe to it. There was also a little bit of like gravitas there. There was like you're doing some serious work as
Yeah.
well
Hmm.
Hmm.
within your brand. So this makes sense to me. It's like, look, we're gonna have fun. It is gonna be fucking delicious. And you might learn something and you
Yeah.
might
Yeah.
connect with somebody in a more meaningful way than you
Yeah.
might have just sitting down having a plate of fried chicken. So
Yeah.
that's, I think, a very important aspect. Sometimes when it's heavy for heavy's sake, people are just like, I'm exhausted, like I just want some delicious food,
Hmm.
and you're allowing people the opportunity for both. So I think that feels very core to what you're doing. So I really really appreciate understanding that now, because I think that's important kind of narrative that you're weaving, and responsibility that you're taking for that type of storytelling
Yeah.
is important, because chefs, culinary professionals, food people can be some of the best connectors of people. So
For
I
sure.
really appreciate that. When the two of you are in the kitchen, what's on the playlist? as you mentioned, you're like a rap song. I feel like you're like writing
Yeah.
bars. I feel like there's a flow to it, and if it doesn't quite flow, you're like, nah, something doesn't feel right. What's on the playlist?
Definitely Whitney Houston.
Definitely.
Oh wow. So you go you
You
go
gotta
on big
know.
notes. It's all
I want to dance
crescendo
with
all day.
somebody. I
Yeah.
want to dance with somebody. Shaka Khan.
We were just listening to Cheryl Lynn.
Yeah, that's today though. On
today.
another day, it
Tomorrow
might
it'll be
be
trap.
Megan Thee Stallion. On another day, it might be a little bit of the Roots or
Yeah.
Outcast or something like that. That depends on how we feeling. Today, I'm feeling a little sultry, so that's where we started. But you don't know what's gonna happen at the end of the day.
Yeah,
Oh,
and it's only
this is
what 12 o'clock.
fascinating from somebody who just like loves. I love creative process, so I'm always fascinated with it. Now I can tell you two aren't ready to cook until both of you are on the same playlist.
Yeah.
Right, like until you find the song that both of you are vibing, because you
Yeah.
might be feeling like a little angsty today and want something that's got a little bit more grit to it, and you might be vibing and like, what's the song that's going to meet both of your energies? You're going to put that into the food. That's creative process. Big fan
And then
of
Shy's
what
gonna
you're
have me
talking
a
about
glass
there.
of champagne, and then we're gonna start
And
cooking.
then we're gonna get started. Yeah.
All right,
That's
let's
it.
talk about this specific dinner in the weeds.
Yes.
Virtual heritage dinner all across the country. Amazing chefs coming together to represent their cities, to represent their heritage, to represent such a good cause, to support the physical, financial, and mental health of hospitality professionals. We struggle with that. We're so good at taking care of the guests. We forget to take care of ourselves sometimes.
Yep.
That's self-hospitality. So this is an important topic and an important team that Elle from In the Weeds has built. So excited about that. Sunday, October 10th, Detroit, Michigan is your dinner. It'll be part of the East Coast dinner series with Cicely Sierra, the Sandwich Ministry in Brooklyn, as well as Katina Smith, Chef Kat in Baltimore, with Just Call Me Chef and Taste Charm City. So quite the lineup of Black Girl Magic across the board on that Eastern time zone. So make sure in the comments you can find the link to go get tickets to the dinner itself. Let's talk about the menu. When you're thinking about this dinner, this series, you're thinking about people taking it into their homes, right? They're going to pick it up. They're going to be able to cook it at home. There's going to be a virtual hangout, kind of like this. People can get together, tell stories, enjoy the food together. So what's on the menu?
We're doing smothered chicken wings. Smothered turkey wings.
I'm like,
chicken wings.
Yeah, turkey wings.
Here we go.
What else is on the
We're
plate?
doing mac and cheese, some braised collard greens. We're gonna do a tomato, onion, and cucumber salad, and then a pound cake for dessert.
I like everything that you just said. Let's unpack that a little bit. Why this menu? When you're thinking about, and you always think about it, so I think I know the answer to this. But the heritage, thinking about putting yourself on a plate, thinking about representing Detroit, since you got chefs from all over the country a part of this series, and I know we'll all look back and go, wow, look at this menu that was composed from people from different backgrounds across the country, and you just see this familiarity, this comfort, as you mentioned, of all of us trying to like get back to something that we believe in and get back to something that connects us all, even if we can't be face to face. So can appreciate that. Why this menu? When the two of you were Test Kitchen Tuesday vibing out, why this menu? What to you felt like it was on brand for what's happening in the Weeds campaign?
It's two things. So one thing is that, I mean, anything smothered is super like comforting. Like,
yes,
yeah,
it is.
I mean, first of all, but another thing, like, I don't know if people notice this, but I've really noticed this living in Detroit. People, I'm not crazy about turkey, but people love turkey here. They want to eat a turkey wing. They're looking for turkey chops. We have like turkey grill, turkey like we have
turkey.
Yeah, we have yeah. So the turkey wing is super representative of the city that we live in, the city that we love. So you're getting a turkey wing.
And you're talking year round. You're not just talking around the holiday season.
No,
when everybody obligatorily has turkey.
Yeah, no, like 2 miles from my house, maybe not even. There's literally a restaurant called the Turkey Grill. All they serve is turkey.
And it's been there for years.
A long time. Probably older than me.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we got to find out what's the historical connection with Detroit and the turkey, because that's so so much of the country, right? There's butterball turkeys in freezers year round until there's the massive boom of
Yeah.
everybody buying them end of the year. But Detroit has a relationship with turkey. So, and Nick, I can tell from you, you're like, I don't
Who
quite
knew?
understand it. It's just there. It
Right.
is what it is. So we
But
want to
it
be a
is what it
part of
is.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, smothered. I like that as well. I like that too. It's so people are cooking this at home, smothering it, you know, if they're not the best at plating or whatever, they're like, smothered looks good. It that's all you need, right? Covers up. You might have had a little burnt part. You left it on broiled just a little bit too long. Smothered.
It's
You're good to
okay.
go. You're good
Yeah.
to go. Okay. Pound cake. A pound cake at the end of the meal, I think is such a classic as well.
Yeah.
Why did you go to pound cake?
Well, I for one, my mom makes the best pound cake ever.
Right.
For sure.
Those are fighting words because everybody's mom makes the best pound cake. In
Yeah,
your
my mom
case,
makes the
Shy,
best
it's
pound
actually
cake.
true, right?
It's actually true. And I love pound cake. And it's something like, you know, the whole dinner is something that is not uncommon for a Sunday dinner, right? For me growing up. You know what I'm saying? So it's very much, again, representative of heritage because this is something that I grew up eating all the time.
Yep.
We didn't wait just for Thanksgiving to have a turkey. You know, it was like I'll come home from school and there's turkey wings and collard greens and pound cake waiting for me.
Oh, I like that. So that feels really good. Now, Detroit, know that when you go pick up this meal, you're not just having a 3-course meal. You're not just supporting a great cause. You're not just vibing out with Nick and Shy. You're sitting at Sunday dinner and having that family atmosphere. It's
Yeah.
something that we all crave so much, especially right now. Especially right now when we're cooped up and you know there's so much uncertainty to be able to sit down and have mom's pound cake. I
Yeah.
mean, there's nothing better. Now I really want to have your mom on the Zoom hangout with everybody
Make that happen.
to give people the I made sure my baby girl had pound cake anytime she came home, anytime there was a breakup, anytime there was anything, there was good news or bad news, I had the pound cake. That's the kind of stuff that we connect to in such a meaningful way. The food, it better be delicious. Yet that's what we really connect to is that we all are craving that. And the two of you have built that into every layer of what you do. So I'm grateful. I'm excited. I'm starving now. I'm excited to find my way to Detroit or meet you up on the road because I
Yeah.
need fried chicken and caviar in my life. You all, everybody
You
listening,
do.
everybody watching, you need fried chicken and caviar in your life. And if you're in Detroit, make sure on October 10th that you're a part of that heritage dinner. And if you're in Detroit, make sure you're connecting on the pop-up. And definitely we'll drop a link to make sure everyone knows when you're hitting the road that coming to a town near you, fried chicken and caviar soon enough. So any last thoughts before we let you go? This was a really great, really insightful conversation. Thank you.
Oh yeah, thank you for having us. It's been an honor to be able to work with In the Weeds. We did when was that?
We
2 months
did, yeah,
ago.
2 months ago.
Yeah.
We did a
We
tour.
we started that relationship. But it's been great.
Yeah.
So thanks for having us.
Yeah, in the weeds, L superpower is finding good people. That
Yeah.
is absolutely something L. I've been so impressed with everybody that I'm lucky enough to have the opportunity to speak with, to learn from, and to put so much of the great work that happens into action, put out 400 pieces of content around such a meaningful topic like heritage and the work that all of you are doing. It really matters. I'm grateful. So we'll let the two of you go. Appreciate it. And when this episode comes out, I want you in the comments. Let me know what's on the playlist for that day. I want to keep
You
track
got it.
of fried chicken and caviar playlist. Appreciate you all. Have a great rest of your day.
You too. Thank you.
Cheers. All right, everyone. That is it for this episode. Fried chicken and caviar. It's a whole vibe, and that is what every restaurant, every food and beverage brand, you have to be that. You have to connect to people on that personal level, and then you make sure that the food, the drink, the service is amazing. It's all about that story. It's all about the energy that Nick and Shy are creating in Detroit and beyond, soon to come. Very excited. Once again, Best Served Podcast 345, Why Heritage Matters to Chef with Nick and Shy of Fried Chicken and Caviar in Detroit, Michigan. And again, this is part of In the Weeds menu meeting Fall 21 campaign. Find us everywhere. Videocasts, clubhouses, articles. We want to be connected with you throughout this whole campaign. This is week 2 of 4, and appreciate you all as always. Cheers.